Welcome to another episode of the Dope Student Podcast.
Welcome back to the Dope Student Podcast, where we explore exciting careers, uncover hidden gems, and empower students with real-world inspiration. I'm Dania, your guide to uncover impactful stories, and here are my amazing co-hosts.
I'm Jemiah, here to connect with our amazing guests and ask the questions that truly matter.
And I'm Noah, ready to dig into the advice and lessons that will help you unlock your potential. Together, we're here to learn, grow, and inspire.
Today, we're thrilled to have Tamara Russell, better known as P.O.C., the Proof of Consciousness, on the podcast. She's the founder of Host Revive Radio, a living brand dedicated to restoring life, health, and consciousness through media and communication. Welcome, P.O.C.
I appreciate you all for having me. I'm super excited for sure. So thank you all for inviting me onto the podcast today. Thank you so much for sure. I'm excited.
To begin with, your platform, Revive Radio, is such a powerful name. Can you share the inspiration behind its creation and what led you to start this journey?
For sure. Again, thank you all for inviting me on the show. Similar to what you all are doing, this is, a lifestyle for me. So I'm excited to see new faces and new voices into the media space, really being able to amplify their voices. But for me, as far as what helped me to start Revive, just to give you the definition of Revive means to restore life, health, and consciousness. And that's one thing that I wanted to do. And P.O.C. is an acronym for Proof of Consciousness. And so I took that and I ran with it. And to give a little bit more background, P.O.C. was something that I adopted based on a conversation I was a part of. So I was having a conversation, and while I was a part of the conversation, a gentleman yelled out in the crowd, yo, that's proof of consciousness. That's proof. But he was really just saying, that's proof that, I'm consciously aware about what I'm talking about. So I was just that's proof of consciousness. And I just took that. But instead, of making it a long drawn out, I just ran with the acronym of P.O.C., which stands for proof of consciousness. And then consciousness, the definition of Revive is in the same word. So I just took the two, blended it. And then also that's what I want to do. I want to be able to restore consciousness within my people through mass communication. I don't want to be a part of the problem. I want to be a part of the solution. So that's another reason why Revive was created.
You describe yourself as a living brand. What does that mean to you, and how can students start building their own personal brand early on?
That's a great question. I describe myself as a living brand because I am. I walk, breathe, and sleep and eat Revive, but at the same time, I am her and she is me, right? So when it comes down to being a living brand, it doesn't turn off. Revive is alive 365, 24/7. So being a journalist, a non-traditional journalist in the city of Philadelphia, being a reporter, it's something always that needs to be reported. It's something always that needs to be talked about, a platform of voices or stories that need to be told as well. So being able to create a platform and share safe space with people to want to tell their stories, that's why I consider myself as a living brand. Even doing what I'm doing right now, this doesn't necessarily have to do anything with Revive, but I'm reviving you all by sitting next to you all, giving you the inspiration that you said you're looking for today. So that's my goal.
How did you discover your voice in media and communication, and what advice do you have for students looking to find theirs?
That's an amazing. You guys came up with some great questions. All right, so when it comes down to finding my own voice, my voice was literally I'm an internship baby, right? So I literally through school and through internships is how I actually was able to establish my voice. Shout out to my mentor at the time, Solomon Jones, who's actually the host of WRD Wake Up with Word. And he had a question for us as millennials at the time. We were in the studio and he wanted a different perspective on how we can handle situations that was happening in the city. This was going on back with George Floyd. I'm sorry, not George Floyd, Alton Sterling and Philando Castile. This was, some time back in 2016. And he wanted a pretty much an answer on how can we solve this or come up with a solution as millennials. And the first time I sat down at a microphone and I was able to talk and have the impact of people calling in to respond to the things that I said, and people wanting to tweet or, just get engaged with what I was talking about, really just gave me life. I couldn't even explain it. It gave me so much life. And I haven't stopped talking since. I've been sitting on a mic ever since.
You're passionate about breaking the generation gap. What does that mean, and how can we use media to build bridges between different age groups?
I love that. Breaking the generation gap starts with what we're doing right now. You know, having the conversation, meeting you all where you are, and not necessarily looking at you as kids and saying, I can't have this conversation. Well, I'm talking to kids. They're not going to understand me. That's completely different. You know, being able to talk to you all and you all continuously or consistently asking questions to better understand what you may or may not know is one of the reasons why I'm really excited to be here to break the generation gap. So to break the generational gap is really just meeting the people where they are, starting those conversations, and not being afraid to be your authentic self, you know, showing up as who you are at all times. And if we're not able to agree to disagree, it's still more ways in which we can come up to solutions where it doesn't necessarily have to be where we're straight at each other's head, you know. So that's one of the reasons why I want to break the generation gap. And I think that that's also going to help with the future generations too, to be heard and understood.
What challenges did you face when starting Revive Radio, and how did you overcome them to make it a nationally recognized platform?
That's beautiful, yo. We'll be 8 on February 5th. Will be our 8th year anniversary. So I'm really excited to be 8 years in the game, doing what we're doing. But we still face challenges to this day. You know, I faced a challenge this morning where I'm live on air, having a radio show, and my guest was late, right? And I had to be impromptu, right? We're not necessarily recording like how you guys record here and then put it out. We're live on air. So being able to continuously make conversation for the people who are listening until my guest arrives, or being able to shift when shift happens, you know what I mean? Being able to adapt or being able to move forward even though it did not necessarily go as planned. So some of the challenges that we face always as a small business or up and coming brand, of course, revenue, being able to start with equipment. I look around here and I'm like super excited to see the amount of equipment that you all have. It's a beautiful thing, but yes, we didn't necessarily start with all of this technology. So being able to create relationships, being able to create resources and opportunities for ourselves where we could get the funding to be able to amplify voices with different technologies and stuff like that. So we face challenges every day. But one of the major challenges that we face is not giving up. You know what I mean? Like looking into ourselves and not giving up no matter what we do. We need to keep pushing and being perseverant and having resilience towards what's happening.
You mentioned that greatness is a choice and that it's your favorite mantra. Yes. Can you share a moment in your career when living by this principle made a difference?
Never to be cliche, but I would say every day. That's why I live by it. But one of the biggest times that it made a difference was honestly February 5th, 2017. You know, the very first day that we aired Revive Radio. Living in my spirit of choosing nothing other than greatness was the day that it made the biggest difference in my life. From there, I started something that I have not been able to even quiet the fire that's inside of me. You know, I'm still excited every day about what we do at Revive, and I'm still excited about what Revive has been able to bring to the table and bring to the city of Philadelphia and nationwide. So when it comes down to living by greatness as a choice, I live, breathe, and eat and sleep it because I believe that there's nothing else out here for me other than to make sure that I'm choosing greatness for sure.
Social justice plays a crucial role in your work. How do you use your platform to highlight these intersections, and why is it important for students to understand these topics?
Sheesh, that's a loaded question. Social justice is something that impacts us every day. And one thing that I talked about, especially with Mr. Jarrett, was environmental justice. That's what I hone in on. That's my beat for WRD is environmental justice. So I feel like all the intersects, you know, as far as public health, public safety, environmental justice, there's so many different intersections that play a huge role in what makes up us as Black and brown people in general. We're affected by so many things that are happening in society. We are in a system that is systematically not set up or designed for us as Black and brown people. So being able to push back against that system is a part of the social justice movement. You know, being able to have the freedom of speech that we're doing right now, and the freedom of press that we have right now is a part of the social justice movement. And that's a part of our First Amendment. If you guys don't know, we're advocating our First Amendment right now with our freedom of speech and with the freedom freedom of press. So yeah, you're pushing back too at the same time, not even knowing. But to be able to create Revive Radio and Revive Media, to be able to have an outlet and to be a resource for stories that are being told nationwide as well as in the city, in the city of Philadelphia on a local level, has really helped to amplify that social justice movement that we are really attached to. I hope that answers your question, because that was a loaded question.
What's a memorable story or moment from an interview that left a long-lasting impact on you, and why?
What's a memorable one you said?
Yeah.
A memorable story that left a huge impact on me. That's a great one. I'm gonna be fun with it, right? So I was able to go to the BET Awards in 2019. Right, this was right before the pandemic. Yes, so 2019, I was able to go to the BET Awards, and this was actually the same year that Nipsey Hussle was murdered and killed in Los Angeles. So being able to go to the BET Awards in Los Angeles, in his city, right after that was an amazing moment for me as just a Black journalist, but then also as a Black person. Being able to experience the blue carpet for the first time in honor of Nipsey Hussle. I'm a huge hip hop advocate. I love real hip hop. I love bars. I love rap. So being able to experience that in its real time and its raw, organic environment was something that I will always cherish. So shout out to BET for allowing independent journalists like myself to be able to come and be able to produce content like that. So that was one of the, I would say, greatest memories that I've had. Just being able to do something that I love, as far as media, and being on the at that time was considered they still have a blue carpet to honor his legacy, but at that time was the first time that they dropped the blue carpet. So being able to be on the blue carpet the first time to honor Nipsey Hussle legacy at the BET Awards was really dope. And this also was a year where they were giving out Mary J. Blige the Humanitarian Award, so it was really dope to see Mary J. Blige, somebody who I grew up with, to receive the Humanitarian Award as well.
You curate workshops and engage with your youth in the community. What lessons have you learned from listening to young voices, and how has it shaped your approach to your work?
Just like being here. Just seeing how you all are doing what you're doing. I was telling Noah before the camera started rolling, like, I appreciate you taking your production job serious. Like, these are things that are like really cringy to me. So the fact that I can see you all doing it and doing it with smiles means the world to me. So I just really want to help the next generation be able to push forth and be able to also own their voices as well. That goes back to one of the questions you asked me as far as owning the voice. What was the second part to the question? I want to make sure I'm answering it.
What lessons have you learned from listening to young voices, and how has it shaped your approach to your work?
Yes, I learn lessons all the time. I'm actually teaching media in some high schools here in the city of Philadelphia, and some things that I learned working with students is that we need to listen a lot more versus talking, and I'm a talker, so I always have to draw myself back in order to listen to what the students have to say and listen to what the students want to actually be done, or their intentions on what they want to achieve. So I would definitely say one thing that I'm learning from students is to pull back on talking and listening a lot more, and then also allowing them to lead, right? I'm a leader at Spirit, so being able to find other leaders who have that same energy and that same passion to lead is something that I'm learning that students have in them. You just have to give them that space to do it, and once you create a safe space for them to feel like they can lead, they're going to thrive. They're going to thrive. I don't even have to talk anymore because they're now the leaders in the room. So yeah.
You're also a green belt in martial arts.
How do you know that?
How has that discipline influenced your work ethic, on your mindset, and your career?
How do you know that, for real?
We research everybody.
Oh, that's crazy. Did I put that in my bio? I don't know. But that's
we do our research.
All right, that's wild. All right, so yes, I am. And I'm really shocked by that. But yes, I am a green belt in martial arts, and that's something that I picked up over the pandemic because I didn't necessarily want to just be in the house. I wanted to do something. So shout out to Richardson's Martial Arts Academy in West Philadelphia. They're a Black-owned martial arts academy here in the city of Philadelphia, and I was able to train with them. And through that training, I was able to move up in the ranks. You know, it started a white, orange, then green, so I'm on the third one. And it has helped me because it has, one, helped me with breathing. I'm able to calm down my breathing a lot faster. I'm able to challenge my emotions a lot quicker instead of just responding and reacting. I'm actually taking time to assess the situation. And martial arts just teaches you how to assess your surroundings and your environment before you just go into attack mode. You want to make sure that you know what's going on. So I've been able to assess my environments a lot more. And then the biggest part for me is breathing. I'm not sure if you all know what anxiety is, but I have anxiety. So in the space of me having anxiety, it challenges me when it comes down to my breathing sometimes when I get too worked up. So martial arts has helped me to learn how to do that even when I'm emotional or I'm in a state where I want to respond in a confrontational kind of way. So it calms me down. But yes, that's crazy that you all knew that. But yes, martial arts is my thing for sure. I love that.
For students considering a career in media or journalism, what skills or traits should they start developing now?
One trait that they should start developing is figuring out who you are, right? One thing that I always say to students, and it's a workshop that I teach as well, is getting out of your own way, right? Once you get out of your own way, and way stands for, the W in way stands for who, the A is the R, and the Y is the U. So who are you? As you're getting out of your own way, finding out who you are, finding out what you love to do, finding out what your passions, your niche, your talents, the things that bother you, the things that get under your skin, like what does that look like for you, and how can you have a sustainable future for that? What does that look like for you as far as being able to go to the next level, or being able to challenge your own self to go to the next level or go to the next phase in life for you, no matter what that means. So I would definitely say the first step towards any career, doesn't even necessarily have to be in media, journalism, or broadcasting, is to simply find out who you are. Because once you find out who you are, can't nobody tell you who you are, and nobody will be able to sway or change your perspectives, your opinions, or your stance on things. You'll be able to, as you all say, 10 toes down on whatever you feel, or whatever you're in love with as far as passion.
Revive Radio has been around since 2017.
Yeah.
What do you think has kept it successful and relevant over the years?
That's a great question. Revive has been around for 7 years. Since 2017, and this will make 8 years again on February 5th. So I'm super excited to just be in this year of 8. When it comes down to, so is your question what are we looking forward to in the future?
What do you think has kept it successful?
Oh, what has kept it successful? I'm sorry, I took that the wrong way. What has kept it successful? I would honestly say, one, because I'm a spiritual person, God, for sure, my higher power, being able to stay faithful through it all. But then two, keeping my foot on the necks of everyone who is uncomfortable with me when I'm around, or keeping my foot on the necks of, people who say they are opportunity providers and resources and resource givers. Being able to create relationships and resources is one of the biggest things that has kept us around. Being able to advocate for ourselves in spaces where people don't even think we belong, pulling up a chair at tables where we weren't even invited. Those are things that really kept us around, and people seeing that audacity, me being so audacious to do that, has been who that girl over there? I want to go talk to her for a second. Why is she everywhere? Type vibe. So that is how we've been able to thrive and stay alive for these past 8 years, is being very audacious and also, like I said, keeping the foot on the necks of people who are claiming to be opportunity providers and resource givers. And if that's what you do and that's what you say you are, then we are the ones that want to, receive those things. And in order for us to receive those things, we got to meet them people where they are unapologetically sometimes. And that's okay. You know what I mean? We ask for forgiveness. You know what I mean? That's the type of thing that we do over here at Revive Radio.
You worked in politics, pop culture, music, and more. How do you balance such a wide range of topics, and what drives your curiosity?
Again, being able to do the work that I do every day is a blessing, right? To wake up and do something that you love to do is a blessing. being able to share news and information that's directly for the people and about the people is my sole intent for doing the work that we're doing. So that's one of the reasons why we are a wide range of topics. That's one reason why we bring so much content to Revive Radio. One thing that I always say is, like, you never know what you're going to hear on Revive, because you don't. One minute we can be here at Mayfair, and then the next minute we can be at Penn, and we can be doing the same thing but having two different conversations. You know what I mean? So I think that when it comes down to being a journalist or an entrepreneur who's in media, you have to be like a chameleon. You got to be able to adapt to any situation that you're in. So being able to talk about politics and then being able to talk about drag racing is something that you need to be able to do. Being able to have a conversation with middle schoolers and then be able to have a conversation with seniors, as far as adult seniors, is something that you need to be able to do, because you can't just, people can tailor a platform. You can do that. But if you want longevity and you want to be able to succeed in a national, index or a national eye or view, or viewership, you definitely want to make sure that you're talking to everyone. And that's one of the intentions that we put out there when we started Revive, is to restore consciousness within mass communication. And that means the masses of people.
Finally, if you could give one piece of advice to a student who feels uncertain about their future, what would it be?
Ooh, that's a great question. I don't want to be repetitive, but that will go back to what I said earlier, figuring out who you are. Once you find out who you are in life, there's no gimmicks. There's no one that can get in your way of trying to persuade you or trying to change you, because the narrative is what it is based on how you set the tone. So my piece of advice will be to really hone in on hone in on who you are as a person. You know what I mean? And once you figure that out as who you are as a person, I think you can go a long way for sure.
Thank you, P.O.C., for sharing your story today. To our listeners that are listening today, we hope any of the information that was shared with us today impact on your future. And that's it for this episode. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the Dope Student Podcast. Stay curious and stay dope, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Peace.
Bye.
That was pretty dope.